Hi guys, in this video I'm going to provide you with some tips and tricks for how to fully utilize your IG trading platform, such as accessing the economic calendar, switching from dark to light mode, and displaying split screens for multiple time frames, and many more. So watch this video to the end to get all of these tricks. Hi guys, I'm Any, aka the NocTrader, your friendly neighborhood swing trader, back again with another video. Remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that alert button to get alerts on all my latest videos. I've also got a Discord group. Check the description section below to join my Discord group called Pip Talks, where like-minded traders and investors talk about everything and anything to do with trading and investing. So tip number one, dark mode, light mode. All you need to do is go into the settings on the left-hand side, and then you can toggle between light mode, which is just like this, where everything's quite light. I prefer dark mode because I just prefer that way. That's how I have my pro real time. It's also how I have my IG. I'll just click on dark mode here, and then you change the settings to dark mode. You also have other different settings that you can do here on the settings area, such as change your current or better. So that's how your order gets filled. Do you want a current or better order, or do you just want it to get filled at the current market order? I always choose current and better, which means that sometimes your order may not be fully filled, but even if it's partially filled, it'll be at the order that you want or a better price, but never a worse price. You can also set alerts on your sound effects so that whenever you have an alert assigned to a price level, you click on that, then a sound effect will go off on your computer. I actually haven't got that for IG, but I think I should need that, to be honest, because that's what I use for my pro real time. Sometimes you're away from your desk, but you want a when the alert gets triggered, you want to be notified of this, and I like to have a sound effect just to know when the alert has been triggered if I'm away from my desk. Tip number two, a workspace. Now, if you can see here, there's these ribbons at the top, and each ribbon denotes a different stock or index or forex pair or whatever. So you can trade a different instrument and have them all listed in this tab here. The way to do that is to pick whatever you want. So let's say it was a cryptocurrency that I wanted. I could just right click it, actually not right click it, click on it here, and then I could say add to the workspace. What that does is that it shows up here as a ribbon, so you can see Bitcoin here, so you can have easy access to it. Now that's great to add it to a workspace, but these are like 5 different stocks that I have in a specific workspace. Now if you want to segment them, so for example I've got an indices workspace that's just for indices. I've titled it indices, so obviously it's for indices. So right now I have Japanese index, and then the DAX German 30 index. If I wanted to just do a forex index workspace, I would just click on that plus sign at the top, maybe just type in forex here, change the name to forex, and then every time I have a forex pair that I wanted to add to that workspace, I could just again click on it, add to workspace, and it'll add to the current workspace that you're in. That's good for segmenting different things. So let's say you have different maybe stocks that you're trying to short, and you want a short watch list and a workspace, and then like a long workspace, or you want to segment them based on asset class or whatever way you want to segment them. Is great, so you can create different workspaces, and it will keep different instruments siloed in different workspaces. So that's just a good way of compartmentalizing the different instruments that you're looking at within the same account. Tip number 3, economic events. So for this, I'm going to take down my ticker at the bottom so that you can see the bottom area here. As you can see the bottom area here, there's, I'm not sure if you can see these clearly, but there's these little boxes, and these denote different economic events. So if I click on one of them, it'll tell me, okay, retail quarterly versus a year ago, and that's for is that for New Zealand? Yes, so that's for New Zealand. So you can click on that, retail sales. It'll give you a little bit more information on each of these. It'll tell you the actual, the estimated, and the previous. So these show you different events based off of the economic calendar, and you can see where they are in time. So that's quite useful information to know. Now the way to take these off if you don't want it is to click on this eye here, sorry, click on this here, there's 3 dots here, and click on events. Now there's all of these different countries, and you can select which events you want to show up at the bottom. So let's say I don't want CPI, then I can exit that. I want it there, so you can decide which events from which time zones and which countries are of importance to you, so that they'll show up at the bottom. So it may not, everything may not be important to you, maybe only just the really important stuff, because there's some of these events that have not real economic impact as much as others. So you can dictate which events you want to show up. So I'm just going to unclick some of these, might unclick all of them and then start again and see which ones are of use, because you don't want to have them all showing because they may not all be relevant to the way that you trade. FOMC is important, so I'm going to keep that. Non-farm is important, etc. So I'll work on the ones that I'm interested in, and I'll update these. But that's a good way of having the economic events that you want showing on the chart here at the bottom. Another way to look at events is you can see on the left hand side here. Let me switch over. Actually, no. If you see on the left hand side here, you got economic calendar. If you click on that, it'll open up a new tab for you that will show you what's going on for that day. Now, obviously, I'm filming this on Saturday, so nothing's really going on. So if I go to the next day, the Monday, there's no events there. So let's go for the week of the Monday. I've got it so that it only filters out the highs. So the highs are things of high impact, because I believe those may have an effect on the way I may trade Forex, for example. But if you was to deselect that, then it'll give you all of the things going on for that week. Now, I like to look at these at the beginning of the week and just point out the ones of interest so that I can trade around them. If there's anything of importance that I may not want to trade during those hours, then I can keep stock of that, and then I'll set an alert for myself on when these things are happening, just in case I forget. But yeah, it's always good to check out the economic calendar for that week ahead, especially for day traders and even for swing traders. But yeah, I normally just focus on the highs because those are the ones that are actually going to probably have an impact on especially Forex pairs or even the indices. Tip number 4, displaying split screens for different time frames. So as we have it here, we've got Bitcoin, I've got some Bollinger Bands on it, I've got my MACD, I've got my RSI, and it's showing me the 30-minute chart. Now, if I wanted to look at different time frames for the same chart, there's an easy way of doing this. All you need to do is go to the top here and you see this icon here, click on split chart. Now you can split in 2s, 3s, 4s. I want to split for 2 for now, and straight away it'll give me 2 different time frames of the same instrument. So as you can see on the left here, I've got the 30-minute chart, and on the right I've got the daily chart of Bitcoin. So this is a really good way of analyzing an instrument from different time frames. I always preach that you shouldn't only look at one time frame. I always start from as big a time frame as I can and then do analysis of that, and then keep going down incrementally. So you can do that. You can split in several different ways. You can split into 3, you can split into 4. There's a host of different ways, and you can just change the time frames based off of just clicking on this button here and then change the time frames for each window. Obviously, I've got quite a lot of stuff going on here because I've got the MACD and RSI, so it might be worth maybe deleting some of them. And the good thing about it is that I can delete the MACD and RSI for one of the charts, but it will not affect the others. So maybe I want to use different so I've got volume here, for example. Let's say I just want to have volume here. I can have volume here with the chart, but then for the other ones I might want MACD on one of them and RSI on another one. So it's a good way of maybe even if you want to use multiple indicators but you don't want it to be lumped in all on the same chart, there's a way of you can exit some of them on one and not on another. So I've got MACD and RSI here and volume here, and then I've got just the plain prices here. I've got the different I've just got the MACD and the price here. So that's another good thing that you can use these split screens for, is using different indicators on the same chart just to check different strategies that you may have. Tip number 5. Also on the left hand side, we've got a news and analyst section. So good thing about it is that we have access to lots of different news information, whether that's home, top news, analysis. It just keeps you updated on anything going on within the business and economic space, which is really good. One thing I do like is that they have the week ahead. I like to keep on top of this. It's something that IG created themselves. They have one of their analysts that will give a breakdown of what's going on in the week ahead, and it's a good way of planning as to what you want to do for the week ahead. I just like to watch it because it just keeps me on top of some news that's going on in the markets that I may not be aware of. So they always have a week ahead webinar or presentation that they do, and you can always find it in this analyst area. So I think there's one here as well, so you can click on that and then watch the video. It's really short, bite size. This one's 7 minutes, so really gives you a breakdown of some of the stuff going on in the market within the next week in a really digestible format. Tip number 6. IG also have this thing called signals. I personally don't use it because I don't really use signals, but I can't really attest to the usefulness or the uselessness of it because I've never used it. So, but either way, it's good to know about. They got signals here, so I don't know what analysis it does to let you know whether something's a buy or sell. I really do not know, but it doesn't even tell you really what Okay, it says short term, but it doesn't really dictate what time frame that is. Are we talking scalping? Are we talking intraday? I don't know. But either way, there's some signals here. If you guys find use for it, let me know. Let me know if there's a way to utilize this better. But I've pretty much stayed clear of it because I don't really get. I like to know how people come to their verdict. I wouldn't just follow someone blindly without really understanding the strategy. So I will not be following these signals. Tip number 7: extra data. Now, once again, up on this little icon area, you have this eye. Now, this eye, if you click on it, it gives you a choice of these different things that will show up on the chart. Now, something as insignificant as price line. So if you click on that, that'll get rid of the price line. So that means that whatever the current price is, normally there's a line that shows. So you can get rid of that or you can keep that. Price change. Once again, the information at the bottom here tells you about price change. So the highs and the lows of the day, and then it gives you time frame, stuff like that. So it's just all about how much information do you want on your chart. I see at the bottom here, it gives you a timeline. If you get rid of that, position review, position preview. If you click on it, if you get rid of that, that means that you won't be able to see what the price would be on the chart if you were to enter trade before you enter it. I think that's really useful to have, so I wouldn't get rid of that. So I'd keep that there. So at least look, so position preview, you can preview what the stop loss would be, what the profit would be, etc. Very integral. I like that, and it's something that they actually don't have on Pro Real Time, so I'll keep that there. Indicators, you can get rid of the indicators, you can keep them. Once again, drawings, if you have any lines plotted that you've created, you can get rid of them here, or you can keep them here. And HLOC, so that's high, low, open, close data. If you click that, then wherever you go, you'll get kind of a breakdown analysis of the highs, the lows, the opens, the closes, the change in percentage, and even some of the data from the indicators that you have on the price. So right now I have moving averages, so I've got the exponential moving average, I've got the Bollinger Bands, and it'll give you the information on where they are relative to the price, all within that little box there. So that's some useful information to have. Sometimes I think it's a bit of an overkill to have that following you everywhere, so I kind of take that off. But if you think it's useful and you want it, that's one way to click it. And last but not least, we've got one click. Here there's this little toggle button here, and if you click on that, it will ask you if you want to enable one-click dealing. Now I do not, but it's useful for people that like to scalp, for example, where they want to get access to the market really quickly because they need to make decisions really fast, and having like almost like a two-step authentication that comes in with having to enter a trade is not quick enough. So if you enable one click, that means the minute you press the buy, it'll buy it straight away. It won't ask you a second time if you are you sure about it, or do you want to buy it, or just do it straight away. I do not need that. Sometimes I need a confirmation because you might press the buy or sell button by accident, and I don't want to enter a trade by accident, so I will not have that. But that's useful to know that you can toggle between one click and not one click, which is just a normal version that they have, where they'll ask you a second time to ensure that you meant that to make this trade. So guys, yeah, those are my top tips for trading with IG's trading platform. Are there any tips that I missed out? Leave a comment in the comment section below for any tips that I missed out, because then maybe I can make a part 2 and add more tips of how to really utilize the IG trading platform. But for now, I'm out. It's me, NEAK the NocTrader, signing out.